You are listening to
Blockbusters.
This Week. Alright, hello everybody. If you've been interested enough to catch us, we are the team who brought you Slam the Week, a wrestling podcast, but even if you're not a wrestling fan, you might have found us some other way. We are now doing a podcast for films, because obviously films are a popular genre, and there's a lot of things to talk about in films, and loads of films that come out that all of us have seen, and generally at the moment we're going to start big and work our way down, but let's see how it happens and see what our viewership is and see what interest is in there. My name is Carl Dutton, and I am in the United Kingdom, and I am joined by...
This is Frank Esteban. I'm from Argentina, and it's going to be with you, Carl, again in another show, and I'm really looking forward to continue on with this new idea we had.
Right, let's get right into it. So, I was thinking of films. If we run out of stuff to talk about half an hour through, what I'll do is we'll do 2 films per episode, but generally I think we've got enough to talk about with the film I've chosen. Decided to go big blockbuster, and I saw it and it's one of its sequels recently, so it was easy to kind of choose it off the top of my head. Jurassic Park, the Steven Spielberg epic. The original version, the original film, fantastic. What hasn't been said about that film, of what it did for special effects. Just an amazing film of what it did for cinema, for what it did for paleontology even. I mean, I know a lot of people got interested in dinosaurs because of this film. As scientifically inaccurate as some of the things were, that's a general thing about it. My first time I saw this film was when I was a kid, and of course my strong belief that these should not be PGs, but that's just so kids can go and see it, because kids like dinosaurs. But nevertheless, it did haunt me for a while, because I was quite young when I saw it, and the T-Rex scared the living shit out of me. But nevertheless, I've grown up and appreciated, I realised that I was scared of polygons and, Stan Winston work, but still, it still holds up as a generally tension-ridden scene, that first attack. Frank, when did you first see the original Jurassic Park?
Well, I was a kid as well, and I think it impacted me as level as it was something at the time I really liked, dinosaurs and all this kind of stuff, and it was something I really wanted to see, when you're interested in those kind of things, and I mean, dinosaurs and seeing a Tyrannosaurus Rex and all that kind of stuff, and to see it was just a great idea, and finally to be able to see the things you only see in a magazine or just the bones in television and stuff. So
well, dinosaurs had been done in film before, but they generally looked a bit shit. They were clay animation, they were stop motion, and you could tell they were fake.
Yeah, I remember some of them. Yeah.
I mean, some looked pretty good. I mean, the Ray Harryhausen stuff is always good stop motion, and but you could always see that there was no motion blurs and stuff like that. And this is where you looked at the dinosaurs, and if as a kid you believed that dinosaurs were there, you believed they were real. That their muscles bulged, they breathed, their pupil of their iris when you really believed that T-Rex was on that set. Just for a combination.
Well, yeah, what you see, the Triceratops that was sick.
Oh,
remember?
Yes.
And it really looks hell of a real. You really see the dinosaurs suffering, and that was what made it so real. And Oh, it's
And
such
that was just the
exceptional.
puppetry, not to mention the amazing computer. I mean, they CGI created the car, for God's sakes, so the T-Rex could rip into the car. But we'll get into that. We'll try and follow story structure. So, for the people who have been living under a rock, we'll go through the film's storyline. So, there's this island, and this guy called John Hammond, he basically is a dinosaur fanatic, and he dreams up and starts talking to scientists about genetically cloning dinosaurs. They find this thing called amber, which has a mosquito in, and they get dino DNA from the blood, from a fossilised mosquito. They use frog DNA to fill in the gaps, and they build dinosaurs basically, with no conception of what they're going to do with them, apart from just use them as theme park attractions. And really, they they made them without really knowing what they could do, and I guess that cost them. But and then everything goes to shit basically, which is the general premise of this film. But this is Ireland in the middle of nowhere, where this guy's created dinosaurs. He goes and talks to two paleontologists, Sam Neill and Laura Dern, playing. Jesus Christ! I've completely forgot the characters' names, even though I've seen the film and read the book and everything.
Alan Grant.
Alan Grant
Ian
and
Malcolm.
yeah, no, Alan Grant and the woman's name Ellie Sadler.
Ellie Sadler.
And he says he kind of he goes to their trailer and says, pops open a bottle of champagne and says, "I will fund your dig for a further 3 years if you come in to my island and look at it, because this lawyer's annoyed because a raptor killed one of my workers," basically. Because the starting sequence is a raptor killing some guy who's like works there. I think he's the gatekeeper or something, as that British guy says, with the the British sort of Australian British guy, sort of rip off of Crocodile Dundee sort of guy. He calls him the gatekeeper and he dies, and then the lawyer comes and Gennaro comes, and Del Gennaro, who's the lawyer for the investors of Jurassic Park, and basically brings the paleontologist to defend him. But also along for the ride is a rock star-ish mathematician called Ian Malcolm, who is the witty comic relief of the film. He does a lot of great lines, but he is also very philosophical, and he says a lot of things about what they're doing. He's straight away opposed. He's like, "My God, the guy did it," but then he goes, "Well, should you be doing this? Because like you're trying to control, them breeding. You're trying to control all of them. They're trying to put them in cages. These aren't lions. They're gonna get real kind of pissed off about you doing this." And as he says when the T-Rex gets out, "I hate being right all the time." But he was. So that's the general premise of the characters and everything. There's this big bloke called Dennis Nedry, who is a disgruntled employee, and a rival company pays him to basically nick some embryos. But in order to do that, he has to shut down the security cameras. In order to shut down the security cameras, sorry, I should mention that he's the guy who's like the hacker of the park. He basically runs the entire park from one computer console, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But him and Samuel L. Jackson playing Mr. Arnold, who's like a chain smoker through the entire film, doing his keyboards, and then that Dennis Nedry is basically the guy who's does the whole like security system, and he makes the security system go down just so he takes down the cameras. I mean, he doesn't mean to knock the fences down. The only reason he wants to knock the forward fences down is to get out to the dock where they has a boat waiting for him. But he did not mean to, shut down the park, but he did. So, Frank, anything I've missed that you want to add to the plot or premise of this film?
Well, to the plot itself, I don't think so, but I will really like to, remark about what you say about the character Ian Malcolm. Something about he was this chaos theorist, and it was a completely interesting way of thinking. That proofs he makes with the glass of water.
Oh yeah, when
Remember?
he puts it on her hand, yeah.
Yeah, the chaos theory, and it was really an interesting